Yeah, now there's a red
Oh,
line.
I see it now.
Yeah. I think the batteries are dead in that, probably. Well, we're going to attempt to do a little bit of reminiscing about some times when we were kids, and this is for all posterity and prosperity too, I guess. But anyway, sis, what's your full name, or what was it? Your maiden name?
Evelyn Catherine Tiemann.
Okay. Where were you born?
Born in St. Louis, Missouri. The 3rd of February, 1922.
Right. Now, were you born in a home or?
Mm-hmm. But then we had like a midwife was involved in there too, and she lived right in back of that big brick house, flat in back of Central School. I mean, Ames School.
Ames School.
Because I remember going back there. Well, I don't remember, but I know that's where Mom would go back and forth.
Okay, and I'm your brother, and my name is August H. Tiemann Jr., known as Gus, and she's known as Sis.
Yeah.
And for all the rest of you, it's Aunt Sis and whatever Sis, you know. But anyway,
Yeah.
But anyway, I was born at February 7th, 1927, at Malampy Hospital, which was in North St. Louis, which is no longer there. And we lived at 1432 Dodier. Now, what do you remember about 1432 Dodier?
Oh, quite a few things, especially with our dad going across the street and getting a big bowl ice cream. Remember that big bowls he used to go over from the stalls?
Yeah.
And they'd be great big scoops, and that'd be filled up. I can remember that so much. But he'd go over there and get those big bowls of ice cream. And then it was a nice old couple.
And Dad, they had a pump barger, remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And whenever Pop would get over that way, why, they wanted to come in and play his pump organ, and he obliged them a lot of times.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you recall what happened one night when you were walking in your sleep?
Oh, yeah. I went down. We lived upstairs.
Yeah, we lived upstairs.
And then I don't remember any of this, but I walked out of the house and went down the steps and came along the side of the house. We had a walkway. And I don't remember what happened from then on.
Well, you went inside the people's house downstairs.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. See, I'm losing them here lately. I really am. I'm forgetting a lot of things.
Do you remember what happened then when you went inside their house?
No.
Well, he kept a gun under his pillow.
Yeah, I remember a gun.
And anyway, he heard a noise, which was you, and he woke up and told his wife somebody was in the house. And he got out his gun, and she must have seen that. But she said, "Oh, it's the little girl upstairs." Now, just think of that, a little girl upstairs.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway,
so I was little.
We had some good memories down there, and I can remember going to Ames School. I didn't go there, but we went there on a picnic one time, and they had a big double-decker bus, and Mom and I got there. Sis was already in her class, and Mom and I got there, and we sat up on the top deck and went out to Forest Park Highlands. And then you all came out, all the kids came out, got on the buses, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really a lot of fun. But I still can remember the Twining Road, that real hill that's still there.
Going out the Chain of Rocks.
Going out the Chain of Rocks. Yeah, Chain of Rocks. But
Well,
then also on Dodier, though, all I can remember the Christmas. Dad and Uncle Bud made a platform for the Christmas tree, and they made it so big they couldn't get it out. Out of the basement, they had to chop it down on each side. I can remember that. I can remember that, how Uncle Bud used to ho, 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 you know, laugh. Yeah.
What do you remember about Aunt Bern and Uncle Bud in the younger years?
Oh, I used to go to dances with them. They would take me along, you know, when I was in the teens, I think, in teens. But other than that, we were together a lot.
And they lived right down where we did. I mean, within a couple blocks of where we did.
Yeah.
And then Buddy was born, and you were the, what, godmother?
Mhm. Yeah.
And do you remember what Buddy did on the day that he was baptized or whatever?
Oh, you wet.
Right? How'd he wet?
I'm trying to think of that now, but
Right.
all I know he wet, and I'm
Right in
trying.
your mouth.
Huh?
Remember?
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Oh, I was standing at the bottom of the bed, and then
Mhm.
Vern was changing him, and I was like that, and all of a sudden, that was Buddy.
That was Buddy.
That was Buddy. Yeah.
Or as he's
Yeah.
known now, Lyle.
Lyle. Yeah.
Dr. Lyle.
Yeah. I got a letter from him, by the way,
Did you?
right now.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really.
What about the picnics that we used to go on? We used to go with Aunt Vern, Uncle Bud, and Uncle Joe, and Aunt Agnes.
Yeah, and Carl and Lee.
Carl and Louise went down to, there was a place named Al Dubois, and I don't know where it's
Yeah,
at,
two boys.
but we had to
I
cross,
don't know.
we had to ford a stream, and sometimes if it started raining, we'd have to get ready to leave because that stream would come up. And we
Wasn't
would
that a
get-
T-model?
Yeah, we
Well,
had a T-model. It had the scissors thing on the side that you could put the luggage and picnic basket in and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of fun, really a lot
And
of fun.
Dad bought a new T-model. I think that was must have been about 27, but about the time I was born, I guess. And he worked at the Wolf Printing Company, which was at the 17th in Washington. And the first day he drove it to work, it got stolen, and he never got
I
it
don't
back.
remember that.
Do you remember that, yeah?
I don't remember that. Huh.
And then we went for years without a car, remember?
Huh. I don't remember that.
We didn't have a car until we got that 35
How did we get around then?
on the streetcar.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that, the streetcar?
Yeah.
We'd take the Kirkwood Ferguson streetcar into Pine Lawn, take the Natural Bridge bus down to Grand, and then take the Grand Avenue streetcar down to Uncle Bud's house.
Mhm.
But that's how we used to get around, and you didn't want to miss the last streetcar because
No.
it was a long way to go. And that happened to Dad one night. He'd been playing somewhere, doing something, and he missed the last streetcar, and he got a ride home with the milk wagon driver.
Well, I remember my first job was rolling toilet paper.
Well, where was that?
Baden,
And
right in Baden, and I took the bus uh, from home. We lived on Spring, yeah. And then I took the bus from the corner there, and I go all the way down to, at Baden where that wedge is.
Mhm.
And I got off the bus there, and then I'd walk down about 3-4 blocks towards the river where that was, the paper.
Now, was that a printing company that you worked for then, or what?
No, it was a paper,
The
just
paper?
strictly rolling toilet paper.
Hmm.
And you'd stand there, and you just, flip it, and in the creases, and get so many, and then you'd have to put it down, and then it'd go on a roll, But we did that by hand.
Hmm.
I did that by hand, I remember. And I think I got $8 a week
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
very
yeah.
beginning, something like
That's
that.
about right, yeah. I
Yeah.
think my first job I made $5 a week.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I got a permit when I was 14 to work at a place in Cool Valley where they had a little manufacturing company where he made these little cars for dime stores.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
they were lead, they were molded lead, then they had 2 axles and 4 wheels, and then we had to buff off all the red parts on them, and then he would
Yeah.
spray them and all that. But I think I made
Yeah.
35 cents an hour or something like that.
and you talking about those little cars really reminded me of something when June and lived on Aunt Margaret and Uncle Fred, and June lived on Angelica there,
Uh-huh.
off of Carter,
Yeah.
upstairs. We used to go and play, and we loved playing under the table. And Aunt Margaret, she would get the tablecloth and hang it down to the floor. And him and I used to love playing under there. And we had lots of little cars like that, and we'd line them up, and he'd have his and I'd have mine, and we'd just move one at a time. That was so much fun, you know, and I always liked going to their house and Aunt Margaret to get that, we'd get under that table. I don't know if June remembers that or not.
No, I think that's where Uncle Fred died, wasn't it, at that house?
No, he died on the other side of Florissant Road, Grand Avenue.
Was that right? Well,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I
recall.
can remember that, yeah. It was upstairs
Yeah, yeah.
where he lived. Yeah, I can remember Uncle Fred passing away.
And then Freddie went to work when he was about 12, setting pins. Remember
Yeah.
that? At the Rogers Bowling Alley?
And I used to pal with him and his buddies, setting up pins and that, you know. And he had a boyfriend called Vince, and three guys that they've always palled together, and I used to go with them all around it. We had a lot of fun, you know. They were nice kids, you know.
And what about going out to the airport? Do you recall going out there?
Walking out there.
No, I mean, when we were small, Mom and Dad taking us out there to the airport.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was Kinloch Airport.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah.
But we've got lots of pictures out there. I know of the old planes and standing out by the by the buildings out there, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, we used to walk from, when we lived on Spring Avenue, we'd walk from Ferguson Station, I guess, where it is down there now.
And go all the way.
And walk all the way out to the airport.
Airport, yeah.
And you know, when you'd hear a train coming, actually you get out of the way, you know.
You know, that was dangerous.
Oh, sure it was.
I wouldn't want my kids
No.
doing that.
Our
But we were
grandkids-
doing it.
our great
I can
grandkids.
remember that. And
Yeah.
June was with us a lot of those
yeah,
times,
yeah,
too.
Yeah. Yeah, Fred lost his dad when he was about 12, and then he was just like a brother to us, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Aunt Margaret used to come out just about every weekend, and Fred and my dad and I play horseshoes. Just hours on hours
I
on
know,
hours.
yeah.
You know.
I still, you know, do a lot with Junior. I call him Junior. He's not, his name is Fred, but I still call him Junior.
Well, you still call me son, so.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't get out of that habit either. No. But we had many good times, you know, and
Now, what do you remember about the Simpsons next door?
we used to play in the bear spot. We call that the bear spot.
The bear spot.
Yeah,
And that's because there was all trees around, and the sun never got down to the ground there.
yeah. And it was bare. They couldn't grow
No,
grass
they couldn't grow
or
anything,
nothing.
especially with us trampling on it all
But
the
we
time.
played house and everything. Grace, and I hear from Grace. I'm trying to think of where she is at, but
The last I heard,
from
she
school.
was up east, wasn't she?
I think, yeah. See, she comes whenever she comes to St. Louis. We all get together, a lot from our high school,
Oh,
and get together. Bob Bretsch and Revis Montre and all of them. And every Thursday, in fact, I still do the call-in, even though I haven't gone since I've been here. But I still do the call-in for Peggy McClure, and call all these people and remind them that Thursday is, they're going to Groans, you know, and be there at 11 o'clock when the place opens. And we really have a ball, because Revis and Bob Bretsch and all of those guys, they were terrors at school, you know, Revis. In fact, he told us one time there when we were all together that he remembers climbing up, and Bob Bretsch remembers it too, climbing up Central School on my side where my house is. There was like bricks so far like in steps, and he come out of the second floor. He got down to, didn't jump, he just crawled down the bricks all the way down to the ground. You know, and the teacher didn't know where he was, and he gave him all kinds of problems, but that was Revis. But we really laugh about that when we get together. But that's neat getting together. Some from church are still at church, and Leda Bailey, you know. And
now, what do you remember about the church when you were young?
Oh, a lot of things there. You mean when I was...
At the Command.
At what age?
Like when we first moved out to Ferguson and so forth.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And you were confirmed there, right?
I was confirmed there at 13. And Reverend Ager confirmed me. And then in 1942, Reverend Schradel married Harry and I. And then Reverend Tom Higgins confirmed Doug and Deb.
Oh.
And it just was, I'm pretty sure, maybe Schradel did Doug. I'm not sure now with Reverend Higgins. He's been there for, golly, over 20 years. So,
Has he?
so it's a long time.
Well, I think Reverend Schradel is dead, isn't he? Did he pass away?
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah. And Ager did too.
Well, I can remember sitting in the balcony with Earl Clark
Oh yeah.
and sometimes Bob Hofer.
Uh-huh.
And we'd sit up there and sing, and we'd sing the bass part of all the songs. And to this day, when those songs are sung,
Yeah.
I'll just automatically sing the bass part to it.
Yeah.
You know.
Bob comes ever so often.
Does he?
He's really put weight on too. Yeah, I see him every once in a while.
And I think Earl Blard is a professor out in the state of Washington.
Oh.
At some university.
Oh. Huh.
I don't know, he's probably retired now too, I would imagine. I
I remember, later then I had joined the GRGs, which was, it's not in existence now, but the GRGs, we did a lot of creative activity, and then for every year we would have a big dinner, and we'd make things, and I can remember Queen Elizabeth, when she was, you know, the main crown. What we did, and I had Harry, he did that. He went to Lambert and carried a mannequin. We wanted to get a mannequin.
No.
And he got the mannequin from Lambert, and it didn't have any clothes on, and he walks all through Ferguson from Lambert to church with that mannequin.
Of course, that wasn't that far.
It's not that far, but it was road, you know, people going by in the street, you know, on the streets, you know, and it was really funny. And then we had a huge cardboard wedding cake, like for the Queen and that. But I'll remember that all the time because that was so much fun. And then after he said, "Am I going to have to take that back?" I said, "Yeah." So he took it back, but we put cloth to take. We put towels around it to go back. Otherwise, he was carrying it like that under his arm, and that was really funny. Yeah, there was so many things.
What teachers do you remember from Central School?
Mrs. Lane.
Yeah, Mrs. Lane.
Yeah, Mrs. Lane, and let me see.
Did you have Miss Elsie?
Uh-huh, and Schultz.
Yeah.
Schultz, he was a principal at one time too.
Well,
but that was later on in high school.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Mrs. Hamilton was the principal when I went there.
Because our class was the first to graduate from McClure when it was first built there on January. Otherwise, we went to Load School until that was built. I went to Central, and then Load, and then McClure. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing, although I think I went to Central School and then I went to Volk. Volk was the junior high then, when I went. And I think I went to 9th grade and then had 10th, 11th, and 12th up at Ferguson High School.
Yeah.
But I remember Bill Mather and I, Joe Place was the coach at Volk when we were down there.
Oh.
And we played basketball. And we were on a basketball team, and anyway, Mr. Place would take Bill Mather and me up to Ferguson to play on the varsity team, you know, junior varsity or varsity.
Yeah.
And we got in, we played in the game one night against Jennings, and Jennings had a big center. His name was Red Curley, and he was about I want to say about 6'8" or 6'9". And that, back in those days, you know, that was humongous.
Yeah, really.
And, but anyway, we got in the game, and how we got in the game was that we had to double team him. And every time he was real clumsy. Every time he turned around, he'd bump into one of us and they called foul. So in the first half, he got called out. I mean, he was out on fouls, and then we went on to win the game.
Oh.
I don't think Bill and I played anymore after he was fouled out, but I think we did our job and got him to foul out, and then the team went on to win.
And I see Bill Harrington as White.
Yes, White, yeah.
All the time, yeah. In fact, I was there looking for him because a couple of weeks ago when from our church passed away, and they took us over on the bus there to visit, you know, go to the funeral.
Now, what do you remember about our grandma and Grandpa Lefevre?
Well, I'm trying to think now. I don't know.
All I remember about Grandpa,
Grandpa
I remember that, and we lived in the city when this happened. But I remember going over to Stall's with him, and I used to get these little chocolate soldiers.
Yeah, I remember
They were, you know, sort of like a Tootsie Roll, but not the same thing. And that must have been in about 1931, because I was 4 years old. And I remember walking down Dodia Street holding his hand. You know, he just had his finger down. I was holding on like that, you know, just walking with him. And then I remember on Dodia Street, sitting on Mom and Dad's bed, listening to Kate Smith. You know, she was real popular back then.
She was really popular, yeah. On Dodia Street, you remember the doll I had was Tin Lizzie?
Tin Lizzie, yeah.
Yeah, and I threw her over the banister.
And did you hit somebody with it?
No, I didn't hit anybody, but it cracked her head.
No.
Yeah, but I don't know whatever became of that Tin Lizzie, because somehow it seemed Uncle Al and that Marguerite, you know, seemed like he had that not for a while for me. He was going to fix it. That's what it was. That's what it was. He was going to fix it. Yeah. And I don't know whatever happened to that from then on. Yeah, Tin Lizzie. That's a cute doll. But, anyway.
Now, we never went on vacations, did we, when we were kids?
Not too much. I don't remember.
I remember Mom and Dad going with Aunt Vern and Uncle Bud up to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And Grandma stayed with us.
Yeah, And once we went later on up there too.
Yeah, we did.
Because I remember Philly restaurant there. We stayed upstairs.
Do you remember going up with Uncle Joe and Aunt Agnes in that Auburn?
I remember riding in that.
Well, we went up to
Is that where?
We went up to Wisconsin in that with Mom and Pop and you and me.
Yeah, no.
And we were in the rumble seat, and he must have been driving 90 miles an hour.
Oh, golly.
I mean, he just drove like you wouldn't believe.
Really fast driving. Yeah.
And of course the roads weren't like they are now.
No.
You know, there was everything was two-lane highway.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So what do you remember about 49 Spring? About the room that we shared upstairs?
Yeah, that was neat. We would sit out on the roof watching fireworks at Wabash, I remember.
Yeah.
We could get out there. And, that upstairs.
And then after when you got married, I think you lived up there, didn't you?
Yeah, we lived up there for a while.
And then when Marcy and I got married, we lived up there.
You lived up there, yeah.
You know, I refinished all the floors, and that's when I started getting my hay fever. I think I got that sawdust all up in my nostrils,
yeah.
You know, and all sinuses.
Yeah. I remember when Harry was when he went overseas, but I went up to New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was with him for a while. And I can remember when he left, they were all shaved and the trucks went right by the house that we lived, right by the post there, you know, in New Jersey. Mrs. Burbett, she can't be living anymore now, but she was really a nice lady. She'd always really come and really help me out or ask if I was doing okay, and she was really a nice person, you know. She took a little personal interest in me.
Remember what our phone number was on Spring?
What,
We had two different ones. One of them was Atwater 95.
95. Yeah, athletic numbers.
Yeah, it was just two digits.
Yeah.
And then we later got a new one, it was called, and it was Yorktown 1386.
1386.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, Yorktown 1386. Yeah. Another thing, what I remember when I was little, Mom used to have these Charleston dresses, high waist, real full, and I used to love to dress up, you know, in that situation, and I liked to dance when Dad was playing. I was just about like that. I can remember that. That it was him playing the guitar or piano, and she used to dress me really cute, and it'd be those real short dresses, but the high waisted, you know, and I thought that was so good. I can remember things like that.
You remember the string bands that Dad played in?
Mm-hmm. And Doris Chase even came and played with you.
Yeah, she played in the band.
In your band.
But Pop played with, remember Shardy Mason, who used to be on KMOX?
Yeah.
And two of his brothers.
Well, wasn't that WIL? He played on WIL. Dad
Well,
did.
Dad did, but that was
Yeah.
when WIL first started. That was 20 years before that, I guess. But the Shardy Mason played on KMOX, and they used to have, of course, back then it was called hillbilly music. It wasn't called country western, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember Les Tiroff lived over in Walnut Park, and he had a little banjo. Remember that lit up, had different lights in it.
I don't remember.
You remember that?
I don't
He had a real short banjo. It wasn't a big long neck one; it was a short neck. But anyway, he had lights in there that would rotate and go on and off while he was playing. You know.
Oh.
Then there was Lindenau.
Yeah, I remember.
Elmer Lindenau.
Ernie.
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 You're right, Ernie.
Lindenau. Yeah.
And he had a regular school, I think, didn't he? Music school,
Yeah.
where he taught.
Yeah, I used to get in trouble with my dad, though. I can remember I did things. I was a mean little kid with him.
Well, tell us about this.
Anyway, I talked back to him or something, and I start running away from him, and we'd run around, and then he hit his toe. He was barefoot. He hit his toe on the bed leg. Oh boy, he was really mad then. He was really hurting, and he was so mad. He gave me a good spanking. But I did things for him, you know.
Well, you used to sass him.
I did, yeah, I really did. And Mom,
I was just,
she was so easygoing
wasn't she? Yeah.
and sweet, you know. Oh, nothing was bad for her. She was just so wonderful.
And I used to get aggravated at it because he'd not treat Mom just exactly like I thought he should all the time, you know, and I'd really get mad.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I do too.
But he,
But they loved each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They had many years. How long was that
I
thing?
don't know, when he died, I don't know how long that was.
Gosh,
But they had their 25th, I know, because my band played
Yeah,
there for
yeah.
that.
the 25th,
And then,
That was over at your house on Parsons.
no, it was down at
What was
the
that?
VFW Hall.
Yeah,
down on Parsons
what
Road.
did we celebrate with them at your house on Parsons?
Now, that might have been the 50th, I don't know.
I think it was.
Might have been the
I think
50th.
it was the 50th.
I remember we had a chicken house in the back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it had tar paper that came around the side, like, and there was a pocket light in there.
Yeah.
And I used to shoot my BB gun out there all the time, and I opened up that pocket, got a hole in there, and so anyways, some wasps got in there.
Oh, yeah.
And Mom went out to get some eggs out of the chicken house, and when she opened the door, one of the bees came out, and one of them stung her on the arm. So when Pop come home she told him about that, and he said, "I'll fix those bees." You know, he got about a 1x4 inch board and a hammer, and then some nails. He said, "I'll stick this on over that hole, just now, they can't get out." You know? Well, when he got out there, of course, what he didn't know is that I'd been shooting at that hole, and it really had those bees aggravated. You know? So when he got out there,
Oh,
he,
God.
he got out there and put the board over it real fast. And when he went to get his hammer, the board slipped and weeds started coming out of it. And he had just a undershirt, the old type undershirt. And they were all on his stomach, and he had that hammer and that board just beating himself like this all the way down. And I was in the kitchen just rolling on the floor. I thought it was the funniest thing I ever saw. But he didn't think so.
Oh, golly.
What do you remember about any other relatives? Remember Uncle Ed?
Yeah,
And where'd they live?
they lived off of Union.
Well, they lived off of Broadway, didn't they?
Well, the time I'm thinking is,
So that might be before my time.
yeah, it was there. But then, on Broadway, I don't remember.
Remember on North Broadway, they had frogs in the back and all that stuff?
No, I
Had
don't.
an old wooden house, something shaped something like the one we lived in. I don't think it had it wasn't a story and a half. What do you remember about school as far as, did you like school or not like it or what?
Yeah, I liked it. You mean grade school or?
Any of it.
Oh. I liked school. I liked high school, you know.
Yeah, I did too.
And
I didn't apply myself like I should.
I didn't either. No, I didn't
But I
either.
remember on the dining room table having that big lamp in the center, remember that? And we'd do our homework there
Yeah.
and listen to the radio.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
And Bob would have Amos and Andy on and just anything like that, he just loved that. And then later when television came, he loved Jackie Gleason.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Lawrence Welk.
I still listen to him or watch
Yeah.
him on TV. Yeah. Channel 9 has really good programs.
Did you watch it last night? Andre Rude?
Oh,
Rude?
yeah.
Oh.
I seen that the night before.
Oh, yeah?
Because he was on, I guess, 3 times, different times,
yeah.
you know. Yeah, more than that, something.
Mm.
Yeah, he did so good. I like the end of it when he had that man from the audience come up and play the
Yeah.
fiddle with
Uh-huh.
him. That was really neat. Yeah, I like that too.
Now it's about 3 o'clock. Now what time do you get to go downstairs? About 3:30?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just do a little bit more and then we'll just finish up, maybe do some another time.
Yeah, sorry. Thinking yesterday about my car, you know, that was really a independence of my life taken away.
Oh, sure.
To give up that car, I knew it was coming sooner or later. I was going to have to do it, but yet I didn't feel like I needed to. But then it was when I had, doctor said, called me that night and Dad was there for a day. He said he's going to be behind the wheel anymore. And that really broke my heart. And I said, well, why? You know, I'm all right. You know, you have neuropathy, and I don't want you to, you know, with the feet and legs. He said, it's too dangerous, so Dave Stecklin, church, and he suggested that I get into the Wings of Hope. And so I remember Wings of Hope from when I worked at Mac, all those years at Mac. What, 30 and a half years at McDonald Douglas. And, well, I think it was 4 days. And the day that they came out, Doug took off from work, came over, Debbie came over, she was working at the school at the time. She knew that was going to be upset.
Sure.
Oh, wow. What, 4 days? I cried. I couldn't get over it, not having my car. And it was still a nice car. I only had 79,000 on it.
I got more than that on mine now.
Have you?
More than that. I got about 95,000.
Yeah, it's at 79,000. And excellent condition. And I just, every once in a while, I look and see if I can see a nice white Oldsmobile. But that was the biggest change in my life, and that's why to get around, I out here, bring people out, you know, and take them back and forth. And I always felt at home when I entered the village here. And so it was all of a sudden, just Debbie and Doug, and Gloria. I thought if I could make it, I would love to live here. And I haven't regretted it one bit.
That's good.
I am
Now,
so happy here.
what's the name of this place?
Village North Retirement Community. And I'm in Oakwood building, in 206. And every day there's something going on you can do. You can just stay in your apartment, but I'm into everything, into all the clubs and everything now. You know, now they're giving me this thing to put the part 2 on today at 4 o'clock.
You'll do it.
Part 2 of Gone with the Wind. Alice, she did it last time, and she had a little trouble, and I kind of helped her out. That was a mistake. She said that she had to go somewhere today. If I would take over, you know, I would do that. So I said, well, come on down. So she had the tape, and I got everything written down, but I think I can remember. And Dorothy, today at lunch, she said, yeah, well, she said, you know, you do it down on exercise. We take exercise Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And a lot of times now I've been putting exercise tape in and taking care of it. So. Anyway, I'm hoping all night, prayed all night that I would not goof up because there was quite a few people down there. It's just I wish I could make popcorn enough for everybody, you know, but I can't do that.
No.
They wouldn't have. Because what's a movie without popcorn, you know? But anyway.
Okay, let's get back to our families now.
Yeah.
How many children did you have?
2.
2. What's their name?
Deborah Lindale, and she'll be 52. And Doug, Harry Doug Marinoff, and he'll be 54.
And
No, he's 54 now.
and Deb's divorced, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And Doug has been divorced, but he's remarried.
And he's remarried, and Doug,
Yeah, didn't he do another?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. I thought he was. Anyway, he's married to Gloria now.
Uh-huh. Oh, wonderful girl. Right now they're in California with her parents and seeing her mother and father, and then she's got a lot of sisters. And she went especially to in San Francisco, her son. They just had a baby. So she's anxious to see again. And
Now, neither one of them have any children. Deborah, Doug, you one, right?
right.
And I've got 4 children, and Beverly has 2 children. So after Marcy died in 1991, I remarried in 1994 with Beverly, and Beverly was a good friend of mine. And but anyway, my oldest son is great. He'll be 52, or he is 52. And Tori's going to be 51, just in a couple of days. And Steve, I think, is 46, and Judy, I think, is 45 or something like that. Now, kids, if I'm off a year or 2,
Yeah, me too.
and they're all married, and Greg has 5 boys, and one of his boys is getting married in a couple of weeks, Brad, and that's where Beverly is today. She's in a shop. And Brian is the oldest. He's 28, and he's still single, not married. He's working on his master's degree, and works at Bowie. And then Eric and Jeff and Joel live in California with Greg and Kathy. Eric is about 20, I think. Jeff's about 15, and I think Joel's about 12. And then Tori has 2 girls, Erica and Jessica. Erica was married a couple of years ago. She's got 3 little ones now. uh, she married Ted, and Ted had a boy that was about 8 or 9 years old at the time. And she lives in Montana and just loves it. And she's always the one we thought was sort of like a little princess, had to be waited on.
Yeah.
Now she's living out in Montana, and I told Beth the other day, I said she's sort of traded her silk gloves for work gloves. but she just loves it.
Yeah.
And then Jessica's getting married in October, which is just about a month off. And she's going to live in Huntsville now. Steve has 2 children, lives in Ferguson. Stevie and Chloe. I think Stevie's going to be 11 and Chloe's going to be 8, maybe. And then Judy has 2 boys, Michael and Will. Michael is going to be 15, Will's going to be 13. So the kids are all growing and getting up there. And we used to have, and we still attempt to have a Christmas celebration at our house. And just like Mom and Dad used to do, they'd have Aunt Vernon and Uncle Bud out.
Yeah.
And we'd have a big celebration. But ours is starting to get out of hand because the family just keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, really.
But anyway, we enjoy having the family around.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back to that. You were married before, wasn't you? I'm trying to think, what happened? What happened now?
Yeah, because I think Judy, when she was still here, before she went up to Rockford, had run into her in some restaurant or something where she was before with somebody else. But
Check that out.
Yeah.
I'm sure you forgot about that.
I can't think of her name
I
off
sure
there.
can. And where they live and everything, Really is something.
I think we've talked enough about her.
But I know Bill and Bob are still my closest friends.
Yeah.
See them all the time. Come out here and
Now they're from high school, right?
Great school.
Great
She
school.
is, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Bill and I started kindergarten together all the way through.
Well, I'm still keep in touch with Tom Wilhite and Bill Harrington and Bill MacArthur and Ed Hoppy, Don Cookavook, Myron Reinhardt. We all started kindergarten together. Bill Burley. And graduated from high school together, and some of us were in the same branch of the Air Force together. And we still see each other. There's probably 8 or 9 of us kids, and we were in Boy Scouts together. So it's kind of neat. We went to see Ed Hoppy last year this year when we came back from seeing Sue. He lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he's got 6 kids, and they're all over. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But it's just really neat to keep in touch with them.
Sure is.
We have a lot of pictures of the ancestors. Greg was doing a genealogy, and then also Heidi, can't think of her last name, who lives in the state of Washington, not too far from Torrey. We saw her when we were out there. But anyway, they're doing a genealogy, and that's kind of interesting to see how all the puzzles fit together as to who is where. Yeah, let's wait for another time. Maybe we can get Fred involved in it too, and talk about something.
Yeah. They come here and Lorraine come up here every once in a while and we play.
We'll go ahead and sign off for now.
We play cards, yeah.